With the recent happenings in Lagos, across the country, in the past few weeks, especially with our children, it is obvious that there are things we have left undone in the training and upbringing of our children. Yeah, we had saw things on social media and people got talking, saying all sorts of things. But I would like to pick a line from what the head of Chrisland School said. She said something that no matter what we say, no matter what we do, we should remember that it's our children that are involved. It's our children, it's our future. What are we doing to ensure that we raise these children up properly? There are lots of things screaming for their attention, lots of distractions, phones, social media, one movie, television, and what they are even seeing adults doing. I'm pretty sure that some of these children are disappointed at some things that the adults do. There is a clarion call for us to begin to look at what we do and what we place as values as parents, parenting, and begin to intentionally raise our children. Today, on Facts, Face, and Forum, we'll be looking at good parenting, the bedrock of a good or a better society. Let me tell you, I'll speak it in my dialect. After all, they say we should promote mother tongue. So I'm going to tell you in my dialect and then I'll translate. Igbo people say, Ana marama shino lompuama. That is, charity begins at home. We'll be looking at it more and more detailed as we proceed in our conversation today. After the break, my guest will be doing justice to it. So you sit and watch. My name is Peace Isaac Yerobo. Welcome to Facts, Face, and Forum. Welcome back. Good parenting, a bedrock of a good society. How true is that? Our guest, Gloria Melukam, the founder of Women Lifeline International Foundation, is a non-governmental organization. She is also passionate about improving the lives of women, children, orphans, and of course vulnerable children. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you for having me here.
I'm excited that you are passionate about improving the life of women, and children, because when things happen, cases of crises in the society, or all of that, it's always the women and children that are most hit. Now, with what we have seen lately, I'm beginning to think that our children, or everybody is beginning to think that children are being neglected.
Sure.
No wonder our society is the way it is. Now, I used to have an argument with people when people point out, in our days, when we were growing up, they will pull our ear, they will come, and I will look at the society at large, and I see things not proper, things not done well, and I ask myself, if that person is a product of the supposedly wonderful in good old days, why are we the way we are? Why are things the way it is? Why is the society Because we are quick to begin to blame children, blame this. But what about what adults are doing? Is good parenting actually a bedrock for a better or a good society?
Certainly it is.
In what way?
Just like you said, charity, they say, begins at home. Most parents have actually relegated their responsibilities. They've become too busy chasing money, chasing shadow, if I may put it that way. Because good parenting is the bedrock of every good society, especially the women. Women in those good old days are saddled with the responsibility of bringing and rearing their children, inculcating those good moral values in them. But what is happening these days? Most fathers are not always there for their children, not for their wives. Some of them are lazy. I'm sorry for putting it that way. And the problem we're having in the society called gender-based violence has worsened the whole situation. Take for instance, if I go by what I have experienced as the CEO of Women Lifeline International Foundation, we have serious moral decadence in the society. Over 1,000 of my members are women that were abandoned by men just because they had female children. Some of them got married to those women when they were rich, and unfortunately they lost their jobs because their wealth was like a nectar that attracted those women.
Okay.
So when the money was no longer there, the young men that didn't come for love, not to build up a family, took to their heroes.
Okay. We all know what is happening, and child molestation, adults, supposedly adults, caregivers molesting children, raping children, and now illicit and immoral behaviors among children. Are they watching? Is it what is actually what is the influence? Is it what they are seeing on social media or television, or what they are seeing their parents do or adults do? Because for people who we call pedophiles that molest children or rape children, and that child gets up and, you know, at the young age, she already knows pleasure.
Sure.
Are you going to blame that on who? Where did we get it wrong? How did we get here?
Actually, where we got it all wrong is in discharging our duties as parents.
Okay.
Just like I said earlier, we are too busy. The economy of the country has contributed 99% to this problem. Because a hungry man, they say, is an angry man. And no parent will want to be seen as a failure by his or her children. So we cannot, we don't always have enough as a family. So since we've been saddled with this responsibility, people now go extra miles to ensure that they put food on their tables. On the course of doing that, the children are abandoned. Okay. In fact, in most families, before the children wake up, the parents are off out to chase this said money. Before they come back to the house, the children are asleep. So I feel if the economy is better, if there's any intervention we can get from anywhere to stabilize our economy, that will go a long way in curbing this menace.
But in those days, in those days that we keep referring to, women were also busy. In fact, there's a lady I knew sometime, you know, she wasn't working then, she was just looking after the children. She read law, she was a lawyer. And I was like, one day I told her, you don't know what you're doing, you're going to reap the benefit because you are doing a lot, sitting at home, looking after these children. And she told me that her mother was a teacher, and her mother was a busy person. She was, she's an adult. She told me her own mother was a teacher and was also busy. Leaves them in the care of, people to do all of these are jobs. Now in those days, if your parents are not professionals, they may be farmers like my own mom. You are not carried all over the place. You're not carried to the farms. Your parents or your mother, they don't follow you to schools.
Sure.
So why do we think that we have become too busy? Have we really become so busy, or that there is really something morally wrong, so to speak?
Actually, being busy is one of it. And another thing again is timing. In those days, parents always make out time for their children.
Okay.
Just like you rightly said, the woman had a mother as a teacher. And teacher is not an all-day work. 2-3 p.m. the mom is at home to oversee what the children do. But these days, take for instance a wife that is a banker that leaves the house by 6 a.m. while the children were still awake, we are still asleep, sorry. Then comes back home by 11 or 12 a.m. Sometimes, because of their inability to balance their books, they must ensure that their books are balanced before they leave their workplaces. Timing is of essence. We need to create time for our children. And the emergence of social media is not helping matter at all. It has actually led to some immorality that is affecting our today's society. Because parents are busy, they don't monitor what their children do on social media. They believe, oh, this is an error of phone, I need to buy my children Android phone, without control. Some of those children, at a very tender age, are exposed to pornographic sites. And you are influenced by what you see. Children are no longer interested in reading their Bible. Parents don't even teach them the Word of God. Anybody that fears God, that reads the Bible, is seen as an old school.
Not trendy.
Not trendy. Forgetting that the Bible says in the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 6, train up a child in the way he will go, so that when he grows up, he or she will not depart from it. But our parents are no longer interested in doing that. The fear of God, they say, is the beginning of wisdom. If we can inculcate in our children the fear of God, I can assure you that will go a long way in reducing our societal problem by 50 or 60%. Because when you train a child to fear God, that every good thing in life comes from God, that will be his or her guiding principles as he or she grows.
Exactly.
But we want to be trendy, we want to look posh. And as mothers, most of our mothers have actually failed too. We don't practice what we preach. Even when we claim to be a pastor, a minister, a God-fearing mom, what do your female children or your male children see you put up? We dress so indecently. And most times children will imbibe what they see you doing, not mostly what they see you say. So we have to really sit up. We've actually failed as parents, and I'm believing God that with this kind of our meeting, we will need to correct a lot of those errors. It's not too late to make amends, if I may say. We need to go back to God. We need to retrace our steps back to our Maker.
Mothers especially, we need to set good examples. I remember a story that my husband told me in those days. And he said when they were growing up, is Yoruba, and then in school they asked a child the name. I guess his or her name, and he said his name is Olori Buruku. And then I asked him what's the meaning of Olori Buruku. He told me I was thrown aback. Why did the child say his name is Olori Buruku? Because the mother wants to call him, say, Olori Buruku, come. He wants to send a message, Olori Buruku, go and do this. So she will call out for her child and say, Olori Buruku, go and call your Olori Buruku father. So the child got to school and they asked the child, what's your name? The child said, my name is, or her name was Olori Buruku. So there are so many things that parents ought to begin to, unlearn. Yes. We are the first they see.
Sure.
We are the first. Someone said, somebody said, the woman is her son's first boyfriend or something, and the daughter is her father's first girlfriend. They are looking at what we are doing, what we are saying, what we are wearing. I absolutely agree with you that we should begin to retrace our steps back to our Maker. But I want to ask, for a child who has already been involved, who has been exposed to some of these things, it's easier to begin to mold children who are yet to get into it.
Sure.
For children who are yet already exposed, like the one we saw recently, what is the way forward? How do we recoup them, so to speak?
It is not an impossibility. They need rehabilitation. They need counseling, because although it's always difficult if a lot of things had actually gone wrong, but there's nothing impossible for God to do. If they are rehabilitated, they will begin to remove all those immorality in them. If they are under a good counselor that can teach them those things that their parents failed to teach them when they were young, I believe there will be a change.
Thank you very much, Gloria Melukam. Thank you, Gloria Melukam, for being my guest. I enjoy you so much. I enjoyed you being here on set with me, especially as a woman and as a mother. It's a concern to all of us as women and as mothers, what is going into. In fact, some of these things send shivers into our bones. And like, who knows what I was discussing with somebody, say, who knows what my children already know? Because these children, they can be so pretentious.
Sure.
Now, let me shock you that some children actually think there is nothing wrong with being gay, being a lesbian, or belonging to LGBT group. Because of their innocence and, of course, ignorance. They tell you they are normal human beings. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm not here to sit to condemn anybody. But what is bad is bad. And what is good is good. So let us go back to the drawing board. Spend more time with our children. Pay attention to these children. Because when we grow old, the children that are wrongly or brought up, there will be a problem. There will be a pain in your ass if you don't bring them up properly. Nobody will hold your hand when you grow old. So you actually need to sit back. We should begin to think seriously about what is more important to us. You got to find a way around it. Be close to your children. Bring them up your busy, right? You got to make money, sure. But you need to make time for your children. Thank you again, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Now we'll be going to Mushi to know what is happening there. Mushi and its environs is next on Facts, Face and Forum. That's the market survey segment.
On Market Survey this week, our focus is on the popular Mushi main market and its environs. Mushi is one of the largest markets in Lagos. It has various units for commodities such as foodstuff, provision, herbal products, etc. The market is a very busy environment and can be easily accessible both mainland and Oshodi. Mushi Market has a place for any commodity you can think of. Let's find out.
Nowadays, like, the prices of the goods are not really friendly. Today, the price will be down. Before you know it, it will be up again. Now, like, for example, this orobo, the carton, for now, you are selling it for 20,000. 2 weeks back, orobo was 22,000. And with the price of the market we bought this morning, we can vividly sell orobo 18,000, starting from tomorrow when the goods arrive. So I can say now, people are buying lesser than the way they are buying before.
The fish now is too plenty cost safe. But before, I have this one. I have 3 carton. I have 3 money. We are go buy them. But now, the money we will buy 3 now, I buy 2.
You know what happen? Transport, say transport right. You know what happen? Anything bad don't right. I'll tire or anything bad. You know, break oil go safe. That sometimes I go buy break oil 500, 700. Now I'm saying 900. So if anything do transport now money.
There are various markets along its axis, such as Idioru, Olosha, Alasalatu, and the popular Ojuwoye market, provision and household items opposite it. The hustling and bustling of the market is the take for many because it represents the typical Yoruba market dynamos. Whenever you're around the axis, make sure to patronize the market as the prices of things are very affordable.
So that was it there at Mushi. A lot is happening. But you know, this segment is actually created for people who would be interested in marketing or selling their products or advertising whatever it is that they have, whatever it is that they want the public to know about. This market segment is specially carved out to aid you advertise your goods and services, advertise what you are doing. Let us know the shop to come and buy those lovely shoes and lovely bags and all of that. That is what we created this segment for. So I'm expecting that next week we won't be going to Mushi to just know what the environment is. We know already. I'm hoping that by next week you'll be using or taking advantage of this segment to sell your products. So please get in touch with us. Follow us on our social media handles. Follow us on WhatsApp. Call our numbers and let's what is happening where you are. Let's know what is happening where you are. And that's all for today on Facts, Face and Forum. Triple F. My name is Peace Isaac Yerogo. I'll be with you again next week, God willing. Bye for now.